Welcome back to the Animation Explainers Who We Work With podcast, a short chat with some of the amazing people and businesses who Animation Explainers have had the honor of working with. I'm Hugo, the account manager with Animation Explainers, and today I'm joined by Dan Anderson and Rick Grant from Adaptalytics. Welcome, Dan and Rick. Could you please tell us a little bit more about yourselves and your roles with Adaptalytics?
Rick Grant, principal and partner in Adaptalytics. I would say my main role here is to help the company grow, scale, and perform well. A little bit about my background. I spent a significant amount of time in consulting, software implementations around the world, and then jumped into the entrepreneur route with private equity a couple times, and fortunately was able to hook up with Dan, who's our technical genius of the team, and the rest is history. And here we are helping folks with any and all data needs that they have.
I'm the lead geek. I run the technical team. I have a background in economics. I spent a considerable amount of my career in the defense contracting space in the US, and about half of that doing finance analytics and the other half doing HR analytics. And every day is a wild and different day for us here at Adaptalytics.
Okay. And for anybody watching who may not be sure exactly what Adaptalytics do, what do you guys do and why is it important?
So that's a really good question. And part of the reason we came to Animation Explainers, because what we do is very difficult to explain to a lot of our customers. Our customers come to us and they are from very, very large Fortune 50 companies to smaller entrepreneurial companies and everything in between, and they come to us with a lot of different needs. Anything from, hey, we've got disparate data and we need to bring it together, clean it up, and do some simple reporting, to, hey, we have massive amounts of data and want to do some predictive machine learning, AI-based modeling, and everything in between. So I think Dan usually says it best: if you have data and a problem, we can help you. And it's everything from strategy to implementation to getting insights to drive your business. But it's very difficult to explain. That's why we've made a couple of videos now. So basically two separate user groups in Adaptalytics that we've come to know over the last couple of years. We have a technical team we're usually working with at the client site that we integrate with, and then we typically have the C-suite as well. Like that's the majority of the folks we're working with, and the translation efforts between our technical prowess and how we're accomplishing something to the translation of what this actually means and how to use it are two different things. And I think that's something we do very, very well and able to bridge that gap.
Let's take all the data, and we know the statistic, right? Let's turn that into what is the story, what is actually happening. Let's create some really good visualizations that convey the story in a simple, intuitive way, where the executive can go into their review, with their peers, with a couple of slides, 3 or 4 slides, and say, hey, here's what's going on with the workforce. Here's what's going on in our financials. Here's what's going on in our pipeline. Here's what's going on in our logistics, right? So the data side of it, while complicated and technical, it has to be complemented by the softer side of visualization and explaining the story. We do a lot of that work as well.
Great. And would you be able to share with us some of the recent trends and challenges that Adaptalytics have faced this year?
I think a couple trends are popping up for us. One thing that we've tried to do is be platform agnostic. So it doesn't matter, if you're in Power BI, Tableau, or your Workday, Ceridian person. We like to be, very agnostic across platforms. One of the trends that we're seeing here now is, these massive investments that these firms have put into these platforms to do exactly what we've been saying all along. Hey, we want to get a better sense of how to run our company with data. Yet they're finding that they're not optimizing this story enough and these platforms enough. So they're reaching out to us saying, hey, we've made these big investments. Can you please help us organize this better, get better efficiencies, get better outputs, get better outcomes from all of this data, whether it's aggregating it, whether it's enhancing the systems that they've already put in. and whether it's, grabbing more insights that they or their teams were not able to do. So we're seeing a consistent trend of, hey, we've invested in this. We see this as a trend to drive our business, but we have not optimized it.
I would say the other big trend we see is COVID-19 brought a tremendous change to our world. And with that, it has caused a lot of disruption in the workforce in all of our clients. And a lot of them are asking, how can we slow down turnover? How can we get more of what we used to have before the world changed? And what can we do about it? And is there a set of insights in the data that we can extract, and I'll figure that out with? So we've done a lot of work in the workforce analytics space to say, why are folks leaving? Who are the right folks that are staying and are engaged? And how do we find more of them?
Yeah, that's a great point. And it is a massive trend. And a lot of it comes down to folks wanting more predictive, more machine learning, pattern recognition of their data. Can you predict what's going to happen next, whether it's workforce, sales, financials, given the disruptions that Dan was mentioning? So that's a great point.
Okay. And what's on the horizon for Adaptalytics for the rest of this year?
So on the horizon, as we've been saying, we do so many unique projects, right? So it's hard to say what's on the horizon other than, and my simple word would be more. More, more data consolidation, more data lakes, more data warehouses, more data strategy, more predictive algorithms work, more machine learning work. But ultimately, I think it's just more assistance to our clients who really love the outputs that they're getting. I mean, word of mouth is spreading. We're doing some fantastic work. We get recognized all the time in our industry for the work that we do. And I think it's just a matter of what we said earlier, being able to bridge, really, really great technical people with really, really great storytellers. And clients love that. So I see more of that.
I might answer that at a more tactical level. So we've got a tool that we actually have an animation explainers video for. We've got a compensation tool where we leverage our clients' technology in-house. So it's not custom software, it's software that runs in your world. And it's a compensation tool that is a one-stop shop for to replace the offline things that everybody is doing. At the end of the year, you got to pass around a bunch of Excel files, whatnot. We have done a number of these deployments where it is a much better way to do annual compensation management. And with the market that we see where inflation is on the rise, a lot of people are jumping ship because they can get a raise across the street. There's a lot of equity analysis that we've been doing separate from this, but I see a lot more work happening in that compensation tool space. And then secondarily, the optimization of workforce analytics, which is a lofty term that deploys to a lot of tactical solutions, but mainly, getting more value out of the systems and the people, and doing so by way of workforce analytics.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and last question for me: how did animation benefit Adaptalytics?
So Dan and I talk all the time about how do we get our unique offering to the market, because it's really unique, right? I mean, you can talk very technical, or you can talk very strategically, more at an executive level, but getting exactly what we do across, and the benefits, especially across in a wide variety of ways. We came to the decision that, hey, a company like Animation Explainers could really help us simplify the message in a, let's say, more fun way than we can, right? And a more direct way if customers can really just see, oh, okay, I have that problem, I get it. It makes a ton of sense. So it's really, for us, it's helping us simplify the message of what we do to get across to our customers.
We have a core statistic that about 85% of our initial engagements turn into long-term relationships. And the reason for that is that as we work with clients, they quickly realize that there are so many more things in the realm of possible than they initially learned. That's so lofty that it's hard to convey what that means, right? But when a client starts to see, like, hey, I've got this data file, can you do something with it? And then they see the output. After just one or two of those cycles, they realize how much of a key strategic partner we are to their success. This cartoon and the few that we've had have been really helpful to bring in other folks that don't need that engagement, right? They can see the cartoon and go, oh, you know what? This makes more sense, as opposed to me just saying, if you've got data and a problem, we can help you. We've not only gotten a lot of value from that, I've showed it to a few non-technical friends, and they have even said, this did a better job to explain what you do than you yourself have done in the past. So we've gotten a lot of value out of that, and I hope to make even more of them to get more value out of the future.
Dan, Rick, thank you both very much for coming on and telling us a little bit more about Adaptalytics. It was an absolute pleasure to work alongside you. And for anybody wanting to find out a little bit more about Adaptalytics, we'll be linking their website below. Lastly, thank you for watching. I hope you found this helpful and maybe a bit interesting as well. And remember, if you can't simply explain it, why not animate it? See you in the next episode.